All right. Thank you, everyone. This is SoCal A.I Talks. I am your host, Edgar, along with my partner, Luis. We're talking to business owners and entrepreneurs about their fields of expertise, talk to them a little bit about their backgrounds, and we get into some AI conversations. Today, we have Juliana Scheidhauer. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
That was great.
Cool. Juliana Scheidhauer. She's a founder and CEO of Reimagine Resources. Juliana, thank you for joining us today. How are you?
Good. How are you doing? Thanks so much for having me on.
Yeah, thank you. So let's talk about Reimagine Resources. That already says a lot. So tell us what your company does, what that's all about, and how you got started. You have a very interesting story. We saw your story on your websites.
Yeah, yeah. So our company's called Reimagine Resources. We're a full service fitness facility company. We're like the one stop shop for everything from beginning to the end of a gym and a fitness space. We are mainly B2B, but we did not start that way. So we started during the pandemic with everything shut down and started selling some pre-owned gym equipment from, my parents' garage. So did not anticipate it to becoming what we are today, but we're continuing to grow and scale and just thankful for the opportunities and the clients that trust us to do work for them. So yeah, we started during the pandemic and $500 in my parents' garage. And I'm saying like, hey, can I use your garage to store some fitness equipment? At first I was just wanting to work out myself. And then I was like, hey, like I want to continue to upgrade. This is a good market. Then people kept asking us for different things like, hey, can you get this? Can you get that? And so that's where that started. We also were selling like tools and kayaks and trailers and a whole bunch of other stuff as well. And so that's why our name isn't, fitness related because we also did other things. And so we're very
Oh,
much of a values driven business where, um, we want to be able to impact other people and, to have a positive change in their life. And fitness is definitely one of those avenues. But, just with everything that we have and everything that I have and the resources that I have, and want to be able to reimagine it in a way that helps other people and brings them good things. And so that's kind of how we got our name, Reimagine Resources. It wasn't specific to the fitness industry, but it is specific to the values that we hold and being good stewards of the resources that we have and able to bless other people with that.
awesome.
So, Juliana, very cool story. We always love hearing companies that start from garages, right? Tell
Mhm.
us, you went from, like you said, selling, used equipment out of the garage to now helping companies and educate, schools or whatnot, whoever needs to basically set up a full-on gym, right? Tell us what trends you're seeing when it comes to setting up those gyms. Are owners more focused on aesthetics, sustainability, functionality? What are some trends you're seeing in your industry?
Yeah, so I think it's every niche, every customer is different, and what they're looking for is different. So hotels are going to be looking for something different than maybe a rehab place or a box gym versus a boutique gym, right? But we can see in general that there is a um, big trend in recovery, just about working out and losing weight. It's much more than that these days. It's about community, having people with you, recovery, making sure that you're not getting injury, functionality. Again, it's not just about weight loss, it's also about how can you make it functional for your daily living, longevity, and then also mental health. Like it's a great thing for young people to help with their mental health. And I think more people look at your health more holistically these days.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think we're definitely
absolutely. I
seeing
agree.
that.
Yeah. Do y'all go to gyms or have home gym equipment?
So I am a former gym owner myself.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah, I used to own a fitness franchise named Fit Body Boot Camp. I don't know if you have them in, you're in Missouri, right? Yeah. So my story is we bought this gym from an existing owner in 2019.
Okay.
Time we were members there, and we bought it from the owner. Unfortunately, we bought it right before the pandemic, right? So once the pandemic hit, we had to adjust and adapt. And so we went online and we did all kinds of things. We started doing training outside. Unfortunately for us, that first shutdown really, really killed us. So it was really difficult for us to maintain that. But
That'd be really hard time.
yeah, yeah. But thankfully it gave me something new, right? And that's what really got me into coaching. I'm a personal trainer now, and I do that on the side. I work for another gym, and I do training on my own as well. But yeah, that's kind of my background. in the fitness industry. So when you talk about recovery, I know exactly what you're saying. I'm seeing more and more recovery places pop up. There's this new one called Restore Head for Wellness, where they give you stretching, cold plunge therapy, red light therapy. They give you all kinds of stuff, right? So imagine, is that some equipment that you are seeing now be requested more?
Absolutely. Yeah. So that's something that we also distribute is we all have cold plunges, we have saunas, we have recovery items. Yeah, I mean, like I think it's part of like just like everything else, sports, performance, right? It's like the data driven information too. And so if you're able to recover well, then you're also able to perform well, work out more, right? And so it's kind of like this flywheel effect, and recovery is just one of those things where it's like, okay, even if you're not working out, you still want to recover. It's just kind of like mental health again. Because I see a lot of people who don't really work out that like to use saunas or like recovery things, and that's great. That's fine. So yeah, I definitely see that as a big trend.
Tell us some of the biggest friction points that your clients experience when they're trying to set up a new gym or working with you. What are some friction points that come up for them or for you and the business?
Yeah, so there's a lot of different ones, right? There's depending on who you're talking to, right? If you're talking to like a boutique gym owner, it's probably going to be staffing. I hear that a lot, like in retention. They're always trying to retain clients, how to attract clients, retain clients, and then get good trainers, right? The other thing is like, okay, how do you increase that value per client at your facility? So they're selling tanning spray too, right? They're selling these
Yeah.
add-on things, right? To increase their value per customer, it's per client, per member. But that's going to be different than like a construction company that what they're looking for is more consistency. They're looking for liability reduction and trying to be more thorough in what they're doing. Manufacturers are going to look for consistency across the US. How can I make this easier and integrated into their operations? How can I get good communication, right? So it's going to be different depending on the client that you're talking about. Across the board, it's always going to be communication, good service, right? And so that's what we do well, and that's what we I would say is kind of more of the differentiator, right? Like anybody can sell, not anybody. It's easier to sell fitness equipment that's not yours, right? Like it's easier to sell somebody else's project to be the person who's like, hey, this is the product that you need, right? It's different when you know the equipment, you know the industry, and you're also able to fix it, right? You know the warranty, you have the warranty on it. You can come out there and fix it if anything's wrong with it. You can tell the manufacturer, hey, like this is what went wrong. They need this, that, or whatever it is, right? You can have somebody advocating for you versus just like, okay, well, this $10,000 treadmill, I guess it's just going to have this little, like it's just going to sound this way until, it dies or whatever, right?
Right.
But if you have the right person there, they can, work that out for you and figure it out with you.
Awesome. Now, as far as like your day-to-day operations, so I mean, going from starting from your parents' garage to now scaling your business to what it is today. I imagine that's that scaling aspect of it, it's taking a little bit of a time, but talk to us a little bit of what your day-to-day looks like.
Yeah, so it's every day. So we do a lot of project-based things. So everything from start to finish on a job, but also just installation or service maintenance on warranted items that we work with manufacturer to service their equipment on. So every day looks a bit different for me. I am out in the field as well as doing a lot of the office stuff and marketing, etc. So for me, it's just depends on the day, but I like that because it makes it more interesting, keeps you on your toes, right? So yeah, I would say every day is a bit different. A lot of logistics involved, a lot of communication, emails, all the things that go into a business that, are not glamorous.
Yeah. What is your, talk about glamorous. What is your favorite part of your business? What do you like to focus on?
I enjoy when we've completed a good job and it looks good, right? Seeing that progress. I want to be able to see other people happy to have their space, um, the way that they want it to look, to perform well. And yeah, I would say like just I want to be able to help the industry grow and to promote good things. There's a lot of things out there today. Again, like I said, we're a values driven business. And so having a company that can train people, that treat people well, right, inside the company and outside the company, I think is important. And so being able to do some of that, even as a small company, I think is, what drives the company, what makes me happy about what I'm doing, even with all the challenges, right? You have your own business, you're starting your new stuff, right? It's generally going to be the people and the impact that you make that's going to be the most satisfying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that caught my attention too from your story that you had already even been when you were first started, you were already working with nonprofits and making donations and stuff like that. So very cool. So Juliana, tell us a little bit about like the software they're using. We're seeing obviously more companies in the wellness infrastructure space looking at AI to improve things like facility planning, inventory tracking, predictive maintenance, that kind of stuff. Are you noticing that in your space? Are you using any of those AI tools?
Yeah, so we're working on implementing some more of that AI, more of that technology in our space. As you can imagine, it's generally more traditional. So the frontward facing, like the gym side of things, that's a little bit more tech enabled. It's more actually you could say because it's B2C. When you're talking about B2B, really within any industry, it typically lags behind, um, unless maybe you're a bigger company, right? Like it typically lags behind the trends and the the global market, right? So their systems are a bit slower. They're a little bit more manual. And so those are some things that we're working on. Um, Creations as far as with our partners. We're smaller compared to them, so we have to work within what they're doing. But as we get larger, hopefully we can work with them and partner with them to be able to have a more streamlined approach that's more automated, that's more tech enabled, and really at the end of the day to serve our customers better and have things go more smoothly, right? At the end of the day, it can reduce time on the job. It can reduce financial struggles or miscommunications, right? So you know that you're an AI. So
Yeah. Yeah. So just as you know a little bit about what we do, we like to talk to business owners like yourself. Right now we've been talking to a lot of people in the health and wellness industry. So gym owners, we talk to people that do a lot of holistic work, right? People
Yoga,
that
Pilates.
yeah, yoga, Pilates, all those things. And what we like to do is find out about your business, right? Talk and get a little information about you. We're in AI, and this whole conversation is being recorded on an AI studio. What'll happen at the end here is we'll take this transcription, we'll put it into an AI tool that analyzes the call and then lets us know if there's any opportunities for us to partner with you in helping you implement some of those AI tools. So with that said, has it aside from what you've already told us, when we talk to people, we're noticing that more and more people are starting to adopt the tool. AI is not going anywhere; it's here to stay. So um, we always see that the early adopters are usually the ones that get the head start, right? And so when suddenly that becomes a standard, does that idea ever cross your mind when thinking about like the future of the fitness and infrastructure?
I would say in some ways, yes, right? So operationally, think right, it's going to reduce your cost, your overhead, the ability to do things, both AI, but also just in general automation,
Yeah.
both of those, right? Working with customers, etc. This is, as you know, like being in the fitness industry, it is more relational, especially on the B2B side of things. You're most likely not going to make a sale because it's online. You're going to make a sale because you know the person or you know their business or you've done something for them or you have a friend or a friend, right? That's how that works. But it can definitely help streamline operations, just like in any industry. It can help on that side of things for sure.
So tell us a little bit of where you see the business, reimagine resources in the next 6 to 12 months. What are some of your, year-end goals per se?
Yeah, so for us, it's being able to, we don't have a problem getting jobs, which is nice. It's being able to execute and execute well because you can go into any gym and you look at their equipment and there's almost always something broken when you go into a gym. So it's a bit easier to pick up the job, but logistics with parts and equipment and getting talented people who do a good job. We have pretty high standards in our company for who we hire on, especially as technicians. And so try and have a controlled growth that is well done, that is also scalable.
So if you could have, if you had a magic wand and you can get rid of one obstacle, one bottleneck in business now, what would that be?
One obstacle inside my business, one obstacle. Well, logistics would be a big one. If we didn't have so many parts, inflation, the broader economy side of things, I think that would be the biggest one. So if you could get tariffs down, that would be awesome.
I was gonna throw the T word out there, tariffs. Yeah, we've heard that a couple times already as well. Yeah. So logistics meaning like your suppliers overseas, right?
Right, right. That and just like even parts, like because most manufacturing companies in fitness are US based, they still get parts from overseas. So, like, we're waiting 6 months to get a part. And, that's kind of hard on a gym.
Yeah, that's a long time. That's a long time.
Yeah. So you mentioned, uh, as far as when you get your jobs, I imagine all that communication is done. Is it usually through email or through your website?
Sometimes it's emailed through our website. A lot of times it's they either call us directly or they just text me, or pretty much all the ways. Social media. Sometimes they'll just like come to me. A lot of times it's actually through the manufacturing companies. So we do a lot of warranty work for different manufacturing companies, and they have their own portals, their own system that they have set up for that. So going into individual systems and just accepting those jobs and doing reports in there.
So you mentioned social media. Let's talk about that a little bit. But before I go there, I did want to ask about your website. So I noticed there's a form on here, for people to contact you. Is that form automated in any way, or does just go straight to your email for you to contact them, or what happens when they submit that form?
Yeah, so when they submit the form, they have goes into our system. It records their contact information, all that stuff, and then I did of course get an email as well. Depending on what it is, I'll either just call them right away or email them back, depending on what it is. Right?
So that
Yeah.
you're
So
doing
that's
that manually. That's a manual process at the point at this point, right?
yes.
Okay. And then I see you're quite active on your like social media. I see you have an Instagram and YouTube. Do you have a social media team that does that for you, or do you manage that as well?
Well, I have some intern at the moment that is working on some of that.
Oh,
So
cool.
that's great. But yeah, most of what we do is not on social media. So really, when I don't have a intern, we really don't focus too much on that. We also don't really spend really much of anything on marketing because most B2B clients aren't going to be,
On
you
social
know,
media.
social media in that same
Right.
way. Like, right, their individuals are always on there, but you're probably not going to find your air conditioning guy on social media.
Yeah.
You're
So you
probably
don't
going to go
pay
to
you
a
don't pay
different
for
brand.
any ads on Instagram or Facebook or nothing like that, right? Okay. Good. Good for you. Very good. You've had immense growth without that, so that's awesome. Good for you.
Yeah. A lot of your stuff is word of mouth, I imagine, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very cool. Awesome. Well, Juliana, so we're approaching time here. So what we'd like to do is, like I mentioned, is we'll take this conversation, we'll run it through our AI system and just have it analyze the call. And we're going to send you the analysis completely free of charge, just as a thank you for joining us on the call today. We're also going to upload this conversation, this episode on our YouTube channel, and we'll send you a link to it so that you can either use it on your social media or use it wherever you want to, maybe your website. Um, we also send you some snippets, some shorts, right, Luis, of the conversation so that you can use that as well.
Yeah, we can
When,
definitely do that, and we'd love to set something up to talk to you, follow up on any of those solutions if you're interested in hearing more about those. Would you be open to setting up a follow up call?
Not at the moment, but I do appreciate you letting me know. I'll definitely take your contact information. If you want to send me over a flyer, that's fine. But I also definitely want to be respectful of your time as well and not lead you down a rabbit trail.
Yeah, no problem. We appreciate that, of course.
Thank you. It's been really insightful. It was awesome talking to you. Your story is really inspiring. So it's very cool. It's nice to
Yeah,
hear that.
very cool.
Yeah, that
Thanks for
you go
reaching out.
from. Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much,
Edgar,
Juliana. You have a good day.
thanks. I'm curious, what made you change from fitness to what you're doing now?
So it's I do a multitude of things, right? So I've worked for a communications company for 20 years, and I'm a QA analyst. So I do that. What I enjoy doing is fitness, right? And so I'm still in the fitness industry. Like I said, I coach. I work for a different gym. It's called F45. I'm a coach
Oh
there.
yeah,
So I coach there. I also coached at a different gym called Bro House. So it's still something I enjoy doing, but what really interests me is the technology field as well. So um I I'm kind of a jack of all trades. Do a little bit of everything. So I'm still
very
not
good.
completely out of the fitness industry, but it's I like to explore different things as well.
That makes sense. Yeah, the fitness industry, there's some parts that make money as a whole. Like it's hard to be a trainer,
Mm.
and I know that like to actually make good money as a trainer.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. That's what I tell some of my colleagues as well. I say, you're not going to get rich being a trainer. You're a trainer because you like it and you enjoy it and you like helping people. And that's genuinely the part of it that I enjoy. It's really helping people, making a difference. And so when it comes to that, that's fulfilling to me. So yeah, that's what I get out of it.
What do you think that we can change to make it more profitable and accessible to be a trainer for more people?
I think, it's It's one of those jobs that I think is just undervalued and underappreciated a bit. I think it's just kind of like being a teacher, right? Uh,
But they get
teachers,
pension.
what was that?
Said, but they get a pension, and
Yeah,
trainers
yeah,
don't.
you get a pension. Yeah, I mean, teachers, it's one of those jobs that you're in it because you have a passion for it, and you're in it because you genuinely love teaching kids. You know, you enjoy working with kids. Um, and I think if I wish I had the answer. I don't know what the answer is. You know, other than saying like, hey, you know, this job should be paid more. It's not an easy job because you're managing different personalities, you're managing different people. You're not only um teaching them how to exercise, but a lot of times you're teaching them how to change their lifestyle. You're teaching them how to you know, eat right, eat better, make better decisions. You know, doesn't always just help them physically, but also a lot of it is a lot of people, it helps them mentally. I know that for me, whenever I exercise, for me it's a big stress reliever. You know, it's and when I don't work out, you know, I definitely feel it. You know, I don't sleep as well. I'm not in as good a mood. Um, So it's just one of those things that you know, unless you have multiple training jobs or multiple clients or multiple facilities, you just don't make a whole lot of money in the industry.
Probably still, even if you're doing that, you're if you spent the same amount of time in a different job, you'd still make more because the time that you put into it to even make a good amount is, depends on, it may not be worth it if you're
Yeah, and that's part of the reason why I kept my full-time job while I had my gym. You know, I was
that's good.
still working 40 hours a week and still trying to manage a gym and coach at the same time.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely takes a lot.
Do you think that some of it is like the ability to be a trainer is so low? Like the other thing is like I don't have a training background. I don't have any certifications, but people either assume or ask that I would train them, but I'm like I'm more on the business side of things. I know about the equipment, the technology on the equipment, the mechanical side of the equipment. I'm not a personal trainer, but I think that's where it's hard is like how do you know if it's a good trainer or not? Because the threshold is so low, you can just go online and do it in an hour or two, right?
Yeah. I mean, so there's some people that go to school for it, right? And they make it their major. And then there's other people that get certifications for it. And not to say that getting a certification, it makes you less of a trainer, but I think there is different things that you can do to gain that knowledge to become a better trainer. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's not
Hey,
just
sorry
the
to interrupt. Can you stop the recording so we can upload?
yeah. Yeah, I think